Okay, so me gonna review Sarah Connor Chronicles, the Terminator TV show, which ran for about 2 seasons on Fox. This stars Lena Headey as Sarah Connor, Thomas Dekker as John Connor, Summer Glau as Cameron, and some cat I can't remember is John's uncle in this, is Kyle's brother, Derek Reese. Alright, this series picks up, we start off in 1999, and this is set probably at, T2 took place in 95 supposedly, so this is about maybe 4 years after that. We think everything's been taken care of, nothing to worry about. But yet Sarah Connor is still hauling John around everywhere because she's afraid that something might happen to him. This operates, before I go any further, it operates completely off a different continuity than what T3 does. Like, Terminator 1 and 2 happened before this, but instead of this being in between the third movie, this is a completely alternate timeline. John Connor is being put into school. Sarah is engaged to a guy who's a paramedic, and essentially they have a nice life. All of a fucking sudden, when John starts back to school, there's a Terminator in there that's posing as a substitute teacher, and he has another one in class that's been programmed to protect him, played by Summer Glau. Her name is Cameron, and which is a funny thing in here because now some Terminators, these newer ones, which are called T888s, designate names for themselves. The substitute is named Cromartie, and he takes some shots at John, and Cameron runs off with him, and eventually they go and pick up and run with Sarah to a bank vault with Cromartie hot on their heels. Now, I know I'm giving a lot of the summation of the first episode, but I have to set up for this. Inside a bank vault where they get to are pieces to a time machine that she opens up and launches them back or forward into 2007. And Cromartie's body is destroyed in the process, but somehow his head slips through. So now, in the ensuing episodes that follow here, we have Cromartie rebuilding his body before the end of the first season. Everything starts going off from here. We have like Sarah, Cameron, and John doing everything they can to stop Skynet from being built, which is essentially a good premise right here because we're sticking with Terminator mythos and we're trying to keep on with the time travel stuff. Now, I really like the direction that this show took, and unfortunately it had some really good points, but it was canceled with a huge cliffhanger on the end of its second season. And it's essentially them trying to stop Skynet, and there are like huge hints to the hunter-killers that are made in this. A lot of robots. We're introduced to a character named Derek Reese, who was sent back in time, who happens to be Kyle's brother and John's uncle. And we also have an FBI agent in here, whose name I can't remember right now. He was the black guy off of Judging Amy, and which we actually see quite a few Judging Amy cast members in here, which is kind of funny to me. Anyways, we get a huge character developments on like John, Derek, Sarah, and you also have a lot more background information and drama that's brought up, which really makes this show actually one of the best things, and I really hate that Fox canceled it. Altogether, this is about 36 episodes of just pure action goodness, and you have a lot of story unfolding here. Now, while I do enjoy this, there are some flaws that I have with it, and I'm going to start with those right now. First off, now, the quality of this show doesn't really translate well. It doesn't hold up to the first 2 Terminator movies, obviously, because this is a television series made on Fox, so it has a limited budget with as far as it goes with its special effects and action sequences and such. All of a sudden, we have like a lot more people which are influenced by like time, and they're always going and creating or doing things to prevent Skynet from happening. But each time that the Connors do it and Skynet does it, it creates these constant time paradoxes, which either play out the way they're supposed to or never get solved. And a lot of it is over my head here. We also have something with this being a TV series, and you get to flesh out things a little bit better in this than you do a movie. Or Terminator's constantly coming back in time, either to kill John, kill somebody that would be a threat to Skynet, or to set up something in Skynet that is supposed to happen. And a lot of it gets really confusing. But if you sit there and you pay attention to it enough, you can understand the way it plays out. And some of the explanations that they come up with are a lot better than what you had in Terminator 3 and Terminator Salvation. Well, Salvation is not really important, but we're also introduced to another character at the start of the second season who is named Catherine Weaver. And this is a huge spoiler right here, but it's a huge twist in that first episode of the second season that she's something like a T-1000. Like, she's called a T-1001, but they kind of tweaked that, and she's running up this company which may or may not be Skynet. And there's a whole lot of complications there. There are questions that are answered there at the end of the season finale about what all's going on and how Skynet has been coming about, but it just leaves you with a bunch more questions. The cliffhanger at this further makes me pissed off with Fox handling shows, because I've seen the way that they fucked over Firefly when it was on TV. Now you get a good show like Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles, which has been technically it's been off the air for almost 2 years now. But with the way that took at the end, with the decision that Cameron makes and that John makes, and what all that could have led up to, it was kind of a bittersweet ending. I hated that it ended the way that it did, but this show is definitely much better than Terminator 3 and 4. So if you get a little extra money and can find them used at a movie stop or something like that, I really recommend that you pick up this show if you're a Terminator fan, or if you were pissed off by especially the way that movie 4 unfolded, because this is definitely good, and it's a shame that it only got 2 seasons, because I would have loved to have seen where it gone from there.